please welcome Mrs. Laura Bush.
Good evening and welcome to the Bush Center for our annual Forum on Leadership. I'm happy to get to be the one to present the Trailblazer Citation to the Stewpot. The Stewpot has provided a safe space for the homeless population in Dallas for nearly 50 years. What began in 1975 as a group of First Presbyterian Church of Dallas members preparing lunch for their hungry neighbors has turned into a place where each year thousands of at-risk Dallasites find food, shelter, security, and a sense of community. I learned about the Stewpot from my friend Pam Nelson, who is here with us tonight. I hope she's not held up in the traffic. Pam and her late husband lived downtown near the First Presbyterian Church when some organizations were building fences to stop people from sleeping on their stoops or congregating near their property. But the First Presbyterian Church was different. From her home, Pam could see the words, "God is love," chiseled into the marble above the church's front door, and she could see her homeless neighbors taking shelter and resting below it. Pam was called on to serve and went on to volunteer for the Stewpot for many years. You may not know, but Pam is an esteemed artist. Several of her pieces hang here at the Bush Center, and she's the one who turned George from an art agnostic into an artist himself. Back in the 1990s, Pam shared her incredible talents with the Stewpot by leading the Stewpot Arts Program. The program still exists today, giving Stewpot clients instructions, materials, and the opportunity to show and sell their work. I encourage everyone to take a look at the Stewpot collection on their website. It's quite impressive, and you might find just the perfect piece for your home. The art program is just one of the many programs that the Stewpot has to help build a better future for those living in poverty. Each year, over 13,000 unemployed, homeless, or food insecure people come to the Stewpot for relief and for a way out. The Stewpot is a one-stop shop, providing resources to help clients become and remain housed. Volunteers and caseworkers help clients recover their vital documents, like their state IDs and their birth certificates, so clients can secure benefits like Social Security. The Stewpot serves 3 meals a day, 365 days a year, through the Second Chance Cafe. They distribute pantry essentials and items like diapers so that families don't have to choose between buying food and paying rent. The Stewpot offers family stabilization programs that offer English classes, financial literacy and education, and health screenings. It also offers year-round weekly activities to children and youth living in poverty, including academic support and enrichment programs like arts and crafts, sports, and vocational skills building. These programs encourage children to stay in school, and they help children make good choices for a better future. The Stewpot has been a pioneer in serving the Dallas community, and its leadership has inspired other terrific community programs like the Genesis Women's Shelter, the Interfaith Housing, the Austin Street Shelter, and the Bridge. And for that, we should all be sincerely grateful. As the words above the First Presbyterian Church doors remind us, God is love, and that's what the Stewpot provides. There's no greater purpose in life than to serve others. George and I believe that to whom much is given, much is required. And so we're thankful for the Stewpot, its staff, and the many volunteers who are committed to supporting the homeless and the hungry in our city. Please join me in welcoming to the stage the Executive Director of the Stewpot, Brenda Snitzer, who will accept the Trailblazer Citation. Thank you all. Hey, Brenda, thank you so much. Thank you. I think this is a citation. Can we get it into that?
Turn this up. Well, I wish I'd known everything Laura was going to say or Mrs. Bush was going to say. She did a fabulous job of sharing about the Stewpot. What an honor for the Stewpot to be acknowledged in this way. We want to thank the Bush Center and President and Mrs. Bush for this incredible recognition. I'd also like to thank William McKenzie, Senior Editorial Advisor for the Bush Institute, who has been a long-time volunteer and supporter of the Stewpot, including as a past board chair. He continues to use his talents for our street newspaper, Street Zine. He works with our writers' workshop every week, and he says that's one of the best hour and a half of his week. Bill, we're grateful for your friendship and support. I've been executive director for 6 years, so I have the pleasure of accepting this award, but that's only because all the people who earned this citation over the last 49 years couldn't fit on this stage. From day one, when the mission was founded by First Presbyterian Church, the Stewpot has been a community effort, a mission driven by many who saw their neighbors suffering and knew a solution had to be created. For this reason, I would say the Stewpot is quintessentially American. We believe passionately in the equality and value of every person, giving dignity and respect to all. And American ingenuity drives our work, improvising, adapting, and meeting big problems with bold ideas. When First Presbyterian founded the Stewpot in 1975, much of our city was thriving. The real estate boom was underway, shaping our skyline. But as skyscrapers rose around our downtown church, many of our citizens were left behind. But God loves all his children, and Jesus instructed us to love God first and then our neighbor as ourselves. Being a church in the center of the city, members asked, what is our responsibility to the homeless in our midst? And thus began a plan to open a free diner, the Stewpot, welcoming all and providing hospitality and hope. On that first day, an invitation for a free lunch was posted on the church door, and 19 men were served. And thanks to the Dallas Morning News, who stopped by and did a story, the Stewpot became a community ministry with people from all over North Texas responding with funds and helping hands. One creative and well-intentioned individual even offered the Stewpot a cow. Since those early days, the Stewpot has served almost 9 million meals. God called us to feed the hungry, but helping them feed themselves and find new hope is the ultimate aim. A dental clinic was started, and then a Saturday program for housed children of families in poverty. ID services were added to get people the paperwork they need to secure housing and employment. Necessity is the mother of invention, they say, and that certainly has driven the growth of the Stewpot and our response to homelessness. We've added programs to help people on disability, as Mrs. Bush said, to remain housed, a medical clinic, mental health services, college scholarships for children and youth of the families we serve, and so much more. Holistic care became vitally important because many folks we serve have experienced trauma from life circumstances and from living on the streets. Our unique enrichment programs, as Mrs. Bush said, the art program, but also horticulture therapy and weekly writers workshop, as well as helping start and host the Dallas Street Choir. Our nationally known art program, it does rival President Bush's art, has revealed some incredible talent. Not only Daryl that was in the video, but Cornelius Brackens, whose work hung in the White House, thanks to an incredible introduction by Pamela Nelson, Mrs. Bush's friend that she told you about, and was founder of the program. When the pandemic struck, the Stewpot made changes, like everyone, literally overnight, to continue feeding and supporting our neighbors. We provided rent and utilities, as well as twice-a-month groceries for thousands of households. Now we are working with our capable partners across Dallas to strike at the root of homelessness. The Stewpot put in place a comprehensive program of housing and street outreach. All of this is driven by ingenuity and community, true American values. When a neighbor needs our support, we respond, we adjust, we invent together. This is what the Stewpot does, what our Stewpot community and all of you do. There's a lot of talk these days about how divided we are, but every day at the Stewpot, I'm encouraged to see just how much we have in common. I see that those who serve and those who are served are the same in the most essential ways. We all have hopes and dreams. We have anxieties and fears. We share the human experience. We are called to walk alongside one another, learning and growing together. And perhaps that's the lesson to remember, that the most profound progress is created not by individuals, but together through what we share. We are thankful to God for the work we are privileged to do. If you haven't been to the Stewpot lately, please come by and see us. It's a very special place. And you will say, like most who visit, I had no idea you all did so much, are loved on people so well. On behalf of the Stewpot, I thank you for this incredible honor and for the opportunity to speak with you tonight. Thank you, President Bush.